Good morning, Cowboy Jim. What a joy and an honor for me to have the time, I suppose, uh, to do. I think this is my 250th video in 9 months, and YouTube. They keep talking to me, which is kind of a pleasant change, actually. And they tell me that every time I do a video, I have to ask if the people that chance upon my videos may just push that little button called subscribe, and that's kind of like asking for a raise. I only ever did that and done that once in my life, and but anyways, apparently it is kind of critical, and so if you choose to think there's some equity, some value in what I'm trying to do here in my a fight against abuse. My heart goes out to the children. When I was young, I saw abuse, and it didn't do much for me. And and then I've watched since then, and that's a while ago. Oh dear Lord, yes indeed. Since then, I've studied initially almost unintentionally, except one time when I was praying for a bunch of us that had gotten together for coffee back in about 1971. As I was praying, it came to me that I should pray for the one who had been abused, and it was a very distinct statement in my heart. I just knew that I had to comment on that. So as I prayed, I asked the Lord. I said, "Would you please reach down and touch the heart of the one who was abused as a child, and as a result in adulthood is and has found it very difficult to fit on." And I said the words. They were my words, but I truly believe, in retrospect, looking back upon it, in about 3 to 5 minutes after I was done praying, and I guess that's when we were going to have whatever we were having and so on. And I cook, so only God Himself would know what it was that I had put together. And a lady kind of come up at my side as I was getting a coffee or something, and she kind of just leaned a little bit closer to me, and she said, "Thank you for praying for me." And I smiled at her, and I didn't say a word except that it's my honor. And this YouTube stuff, it is my honor to bring before you the impassioned, I hope that's the right word, fervor that I have for anyone who was abused, psychologically, physically, whatever. Because a child is not responsible for the actions of adults and or teenagers. 5-year-old isn't responsible for what a 14 and 16-year-old kid would do. And I have chosen to dedicate my life to an attentiveness toward those whom I see who have, well, one, eating disorders, that being eating too much or eating too little. Um, and and a further what a person does and how they go about doing it. Um, I met a lady one time, oh, many years ago, nigh under 25, I suppose, 20 something. And I listened to her delineate a reflection uh, of her life. And it was summed up, I suppose, in this action or this statement. She had wanted to hear from her parents that she was loved. And that was not forthcoming, and seemingly. And, and as a result, she learned very early to give herself bodily to whoever it was that was willing to say, I love you. And the problem with that for her led her in a lot of places where she probably, had she thought about it or realized or could have done anything about it anyways, may well not have taken her to where she had gotten. But don't ever blame a wounded child of 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years of age for their actions. If it's an act of disobedience, such as not cleaning your room as a 8, 9, 10-year-old, well, that's one thing. But don't blame a kid for the abuse that is going on in the kid's life. Now, I am no authority. I am a rancher. I was a rancher. I will be a rancher again because I know my God has a quarter of bush out there, rolling hills along the foothills. And I don't care if I have to sleep in my old Dodge. If it's not snake country, I'll sure be putting a tent up. But I know God will give to me again that which was taken away this past year, in great part to abuse that I experienced at the hands of I would like to say a man, but that would be a euphemism. But an individual who went out of his way to teach me, and he did not realize he was teaching me. He just thought he was in the process of scooping up a lifetime of work and a lot of monetary gain. And he did get quite a bit from me, but he gave me more than he took. He taught me the right to use the word empathy. Empathy is beyond sympathy. You can look at a situation and say, I sympathize with you. But if you look upon a situation and you use the word empathize with you, that indicates that you, from an experiential level, have experienced something similar to what the person was going through. And this young man, and again, I use that word loosely, man. This young man's actions can best be summed up in this. Independent grocers, Fort McMurray, Alberta, Canada. I hope there are some people across over in Ireland that would listen to me. he walked up to me in Independent Grocers, and I out of the corner of my eye, I saw some movement getting a little too close to me. I was concentrating on some veggie crap. I was a fruit or something I was buying. Geez, I tried to eat healthy, and I turned, and as I turned, I realized who it was, and I got very, very ready to defend myself. And he stepped close, not too closely. Oh, he's smart enough. He didn't get too close. I would have had to have taken a step towards him to put him on the ground, and I could have. Well, I could have. And he said, if you ever tell anyone what I have done to you, I will have you know there will be serious consequences. To me, that's a threat. To me, that's a culpable offense. But my understanding of culpability is not necessarily reflective of that of the RCMP, but it's not too far off. And in that he did that, I began to go over in my mind and document every single thing that fatherless child, there's a B word for that, we're not saying, had done to me. And I made an hour-long video, which I gave to the proper authorities. And but it gave me the right, in some ways, nominal, but in some ways, I could impose myself upon the use of this word and say, I now can empathize with people who are abused. And in some ways I can. I have spent a lifetime talking to ladies who only one man ever had enough guts to be honest with me, and I didn't have a clue that he had been abused as a child along with his sister. And he was so young, and so young. And there's no excuse for abuse. I mean, I look at our government here. This could be considered a rabbit trail. It's really not. And I see our government in Canada, led by Blackface, the Prime Minister, Justin. Sure isn't I hope that word's not a derivative of justice, because he does not know what that means. Justice means, for me, freedom. Justice means you get condemned when you do wrong. Justice. But if you're not doing wrong and you are just doing what God gave you the right to do, and you're treated and called and condemned racist and all the other isms that are terrible. Listen, I have talked to as many women as I can, as I could, without imposing on them, also without speaking in an embarrassing manner with them. The most beautiful woman in the world that I ever met, she said that Cowboy Jim sure knows how to talk to a lady. And I thought, I wished I knew more than just how to talk with a lady. I wished I had that ability to share my heart. But in some ways I do, but in many ways I don't. And but I have had the privilege and the honor of speaking with a few ladies who walked the streets and charged for their time. And the reason that I did that, the one occasion I saw a lady and I said, that woman looks like she's been ridden hard and put up wet. Now that's a takeoff of having been around horses all my life. And if you ride a horse hard and it's sweated up really good, and you're done your ride. You take the saddle off, the saddle blanket off, and you rub that thing down, and you brush its coat, and by doing that, you show your appreciation for the fact that it carried you for such a long way. And I can ride 20 or 30 miles a day and seemingly not ever get a sore butt. But I felt so ashamed when I considered what I had said about another human being, a lady who may or may not possibly have been a prostitute, as it turns out she was, and it was her choice. But was it her choice? I don't, I don't, I don't think anyone would make such a choice without having influences that came from their childhood, abuse, whatnot. I felt so ashamed of myself that I told the guy that was driving my truck. He once was my friend. Actually, he may well have been one of the best friends of my life. I have had about 4 or 5 of them, and I still am in contact with all of them except that young man. And I said, "You have to take me back. I have to talk to that lady." And he said, "Don't do it, Jim. Don't go down that rabbit trail." And I said, "I have to. And so I need you to take me back." He parked. Oh, he was so upset, and the lady that was with him was upset. But it was my truck. And so I got out of the truck, and I went and I talked to that young. I thought she was a young lady, but as it turns out, she is well into her 50s. And I I I apologized to her, and I asked her. I said, "How much do you charge for your time?" And she gave me a figure, and I took the money out of my wallet and I paid her. And she said, "What would you like to do?" I said, "I'd like to talk to you about the fact that Jesus Christ suffered, bled, and died on the cross for you. That if you are at the point in your life where you want to make some changes, I want you to know that He, God, through Jesus Christ, is ready, willing, able to take you in His arms, and it won't be because of what you're capable of giving or doing." And that lady, she just didn't know what to say, and so we had a good talk. And a good talk is when one person poses a question and waits for the answer, and people don't understand. I got my money's worth from that little lady, and because there comes a time in a person's life, and no one can determine when that is. Thus, a person who cares, as I do, has to be attentive to what they see and try diligently to understand, not from a position of arrogance or self-righteousness, but rather from a position of being attentive to another's hurts, needs, all that stuff. And it encompasses so much that it's almost beyond appropriate description. She and I had a good talk, and 20 minutes, that's what I had bought. Sad. And I asked her, I said, "Would you be offended if I prayed for you?" And she said no. And I could do anything I wanted in the 20 minutes. And I said, "I'm doing exactly what I would like to do. If it's all right, I'll pray for you." She said, "Yes, I did." And I have not ever seen her again. You and I have the privilege and the honor of processing thought. Our thoughts will reflect our hearts, and our hearts will reflect our belief system. I choose to believe in a creator, a God who is not from earth, an extraterrestrial being, a God who came with his son with the ability to create and enhance the earth to a position and place in time where it is now. We, since as humans, have screwed it up really badly. Listen, getting close to my timeline. If you have come to the place in your life and you're not sure just which way to turn, don't look don't look at me. Look at what I speak of. Look at the Creator. Consider that Jesus Christ truly does love you. Pray for the children who are abused. Pray for the adults, children who have grown through abuse, and they don't know what to do with themselves. You see a lady who may well be out for a walk, but if you see a lady on the street and you think, I just bet that lady makes her money on her back. Listen, don't put her down. You don't know where she's been. You don't know what she's gone through, and you don't know how she got there. But you do know this: that God loves her, and she came from a family. And I always say, that's some man's daughter. That's some mother's daughter. Some brother, sister, some sister, a human. Well, God bless you, and hope it didn't depress you at all. Anyways, this is number 250. Kind of pleased with that. I think they're getting better. I think they're getting shorter. And here I am talking right into almost 22 minutes. God bless you. You have a good day. God bless you. Take care of the baby children. Please take care of the baby children. God bless you.